Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Life with Anita. I just want to do a weekly recap of just how my week went. It was truly amazing. I got a chance to do a business partnership with my great friend Steven at the Dallas Cowboys headquarters. We had a very, very great meeting, very productive. I'm excited for what we're going to do in the coming months. So, I just want to share a little bit about how I have been so fortunate to meet amazing people in business, to be able to do a lot of networking and marketing and branding for myself as well. But what I have also learned is it's very important people that you surround yourself with. So when I went to the Dallas Cowboy headquarters this past week, I went in with a mindset to say, hey, go in, gain the knowledge, gain the insight, do what you need to do to excel and progress yourself. Because my goal for this year is by December to have $1 million in sales. So if I'm thinking of scaling up in a manner like that in my businesses, I had to go and sit with people who've already done that. So my good friend Steven, he's already made $6 million. He's already been extremely successful. So us being friends and constantly networking together and talking and sitting down and doing what we got to do, that's how you truly succeed in life. Because, I don't know everything, and there are people who have ran their businesses on a bigger scale than what I have. So it's great to gain insight from people and just truly learn more and more and more to progress in life, to do better in life. So I just want to say, and it was truly an experience being at the Dallas Cowboys headquarters. I had never been there. So to go and have a meeting there, to also go into certain deals that are very lucrative for me, given the fact that I am such a great businesswoman with a great business mind. Things just went amazing the day I had that meeting there. I will say that I have been so happy and excited for all the great things. I'm going to be going into keynote speaking. Also, I still am an event guru, as I call myself. So if you guys ever want to book with me for events, for corporate events, I also do for companies. I do birthday parties, weddings, baby showers, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras, just about any event that you can celebrate. I'm able to come in and to design that for you. Whether you want to do simple or if you want to do upscale, I can pretty much design on any level. So I am just excited. I want to share that information with you guys. And then I went to another event of another good friend of mine here. When I tell you my networking circle of the amazing people I know now, and like every weekend we're at an event doing something together. It is truly, truly something special because I never knew that one day I truly began to find my people, whether it's my people in business, my people in life, my person in love. I didn't know I would start to find all these people, and it would be like a great domino effect that just happens, right? So, I was going through like a really rough time, right? Um, when I was going through my divorce process. And I was like, God, I'm like, what am I going to do, right? I'm like, God, I just dealt with this situation. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So, I remember praying and I was like, God, this is going on, that's going on. I was like, God, I need this, I need that. And I was like, God, can you make this happen, make that happen, make that happen, right? And I remember, and I kid you guys not, as I'm telling you this story, honestly, God said, when you let go of what is not for you and what I don't want you to be a part of anymore, I'm going to bless you with things better and better and better. So, when I used to stay in the state I used to live in, I didn't have all these great networking people. I didn't have all these great business-minded people. I didn't have all these, millionaire friends. So now to be intertwined where these are people I actually go hang out with. These are people I talk to every day. These are people I connect with every day. And these are people who are already millionaires, right? And so that's where I'm trying to get to. So when you have friends that you meet and they sit you down and say, hey, by the end of the year, we're going to get you $1 million in sales and we're going to work together and make that happen for you. And when you have great people in your circle like that, that's something that's truly amazing. And then I was praying to God about my love life and finding somebody that was my person for only me. And when I tell you, God answers prayers. God has answered prayers for me in the business world. God has answered prayers for me in my love life. God has answered prayers for me just in general in life to succeed. And it has been a truly amazing experience. And then another recap I'm going to tell you guys about as well is I went to King Empowerment. One of my great friends also, he did a King Empowerment event in Dallas, Texas this past weekend. And when I tell you the energy that was in that room, you could feel that God was truly in that room at the King Empowerment event that I went to. Because as I was listening to this other speakers, I myself got up and I shared encouraging words to encourage men and empower them. A lot of times, us as women and just us as people, we don't know how to be kind to people. We don't understand that people need to be loved a different way. We don't understand that people need to be encouraged a different way, right? Everybody's different. So you have to look at what the scenario is, right? Men, okay, and I will say from experience, and this is just me being honest. So the King Empowerment event was mainly African American men. That the goal of the event was to empower them, and I will say from experience that black men need to be empowered. They need to be encouraged. They need to be loved. And people may say, well, Anita, why are you, putting it down and narrowing it down to that? But I speak the truth and I speak honesty. Black men are the race and the color that they are targeted a lot. They are hunted a lot. They get a lot of things thrown their way. And as men, their defense mechanism a lot is, because they've been through so much, is to just stay strong because I'm a man. And I can't talk about this, and I can't be vulnerable, and I can't do that. So us as women, and I will say that that's why I think I have heard that over the years about myself so much, is that in relationships, a lot of people have said, Anita, you're like a safe place. You're like a healing place for me. When I'm with you, I feel happier. I feel loved, and I feel safe, and I can really just thrive, right? And that's because I understand the targets that are against the black man, okay, specifically. And me being a black woman, I understand that because I've seen things and I've watched things happen, and I still watch things happen to this day. that says we need to love on our kings. We need to love on our men. We need to empower our men. And now that's not to say that men of other races should not be empowered and loved on. They definitely should. But this event was mainly driven for African American men. And to listen to some of them and to hear how a lot of men didn't feel comfortable talking about if they were having mental health issues, or they didn't feel like they were in relationships where they were being loved properly, or they felt like they were just being mistreated just all across the board. So I got up and I spoke words. And when I spoke the words over them and I spoke life into all the men in that room at that event, and to see how they all looked at me, like they were like, oh my God, like that was so powerful what you said. And I'll share a little bit of what I spoke at the event and said. I told them, I said, you are loved and we understand you. We are here for you. We want you to thrive. You are going to be okay. I understand the struggles that you are going through, but that's why us women are here, to be there, to support you, to allow you that space to be vulnerable. Because if you don't allow a man the space to be vulnerable, to be able to talk to you, to be able to be loved by you, sometimes men get tired of just being strong all the time as well. And that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a man, but you have to understand that every man has a vulnerable side. Every man has been through something. So even in relationships, when you have a man that has been through a lot, your natural instinct, and it's just me speaking off what I know makes sense and what works. So say, for instance, I am with a man and say he's been through a lot, right? And say I'm just like, hey, you know what? I get that he's been through a lot. I understand what he's been through. Let me love him this way, right? Because I'm a lover. I can pick up on feelings. I can pick up on emotions. I can pick up on how a person needs to be loved, and I'm pretty accurate with it, right? So that's why I know how to love people so well. That's why people trust me so much. That's why people connect with me and they attach to me so well. I mean, it's people who have attached to me for 20 plus years, simply because, not because they're like, oh, I just want to be in Anita's life, or I just want to stay around her. They attach to me because they know I'm a good person, and they know I have a healing spirit. I have a nurturing spirit, and that's just who I've been my whole life. So people tend to draw to me because they feel the energy that comes off of me. They feel who I am. They see who I am. So it was very powerful for me, and as me having young men that I have raised, my sons, to empower other men this weekend was truly amazing. I can't even begin to tell you, just how much power and energy was in that room. And I just want to say this because so many times we forget to give people love and encouragement. And even if they don't ask for it, sometimes it's good to say, hey, I'm proud of you. I love you. You're going to be okay. I'm here for you. You got this. It's so simple just to encourage somebody and be good to a person, right? Every day, I'll just explain something that I do. So with the man I'm with now, every day, I try to encourage him. I try to say something nice and something loving and something to speak life into him so that he understands he's amazing, that he's great. And I don't do that because he has low self-esteem. He's a very confident, amazing man. But I do that to say, hey, listen, you're my king. I love you. You mean the world to me. And I want him to understand that feeling and those emotions that are there for him. I want him to know, hey, I am your safe place. I am your happy place. Whatever you need, whatever is going on, whatever we need to talk about, we'll talk about. Whatever you feel like you need to say, I want you to have the open space to say it, and we'll work through it. So That's just how I am. And I can't speak for everybody else, but what I will say is that treat people good. Be good to people, especially the people who are good to you. When I tell you that every day I wake up sometime and I be ready to pinch myself these days because I said, wait a minute, God, you sent me a man that's everything I prayed for. This man actually makes life 1,000 times better. He makes life happier. He makes things so much better. The energy, the love that's there. What me and him experience together is so hard to put in words besides using words like great, amazing, God sent. Because see, I used to be so confused before I started my relationship back up with God, and I got more in tune with God again, and I started talking to God more, and I started believing God more. And I remember that for the last few months, even when I was going through my divorce, I said, God, I want you to send me somebody that's nothing like my soon-to-be ex-husband. I want you to send me somebody that's for me, that's not going to mistreat me, that's not going to do this and do that and be this way and be that way. And I remember writing my prayers down. I remember saying them every day. And I would see the man that I'm with now every day. And I was like, it was something about him. And I was like, man, it's something about him. And it took a minute for us to talk, but if you guys go back to my Valentine's Day special I did, the guy I'm with is actually the one I was telling you guys about on Valentine's Day, where he went and he bought me something for Valentine's Day. And at that time, I was going through a lot because if you know, that was like 2 days before my divorce was going to be finalized. And I just was like having so many emotions, going through so much stuff, and I wasn't telling nobody about it. I just was dealing with it. And when he went and got me something for Valentine's Day, and then I gave him a hug, God was like, that's him. And I'm like, no way. Right? And the more we got to start talking to each other, the more we start connecting. This is truly, truly like the best relationship I've had in my entire life. Because I thought sometimes you'll think something is good, or you'll think it's this, or you'll think it's that, but what I know to be true is that the man that I'm with right now, he's truly amazing. And when I think about how, in my opinion, there's so many men who are not loved properly. There's so many men who are not treated properly. And yes, there are a lot of us women who don't get treated right. But when you find your person, I'm going to repeat this. When you find your person, it happens naturally. So the reason why I know that we are soulmates, that he's my person, because I go back to my prayers. I go back to God and I say, God, hey. And see, I prayed to God as well. So when we first started getting together, I was praying to God like, hey, God, is this it? Is this where I'm supposed to be going? Am I supposed to be doing it like this? And God was guiding me every step of the way. So now I know I'm finally with my person, the person that's for me. I'm finally with the love of my life. And before I would just feel like, oh, hey, I'm just with somebody. It is what it is. But with the person I'm with now, he is truly, he's amazing. I can't even like not keep repeating that. So when you find somebody who's amazing, when you find somebody who's truly just great, and they're for you, and they're your person, and they put that effort in the way that you do, love that person for life. Okay? Because these days, every day that we wake up together, and I'm just like, oh my God, I finally got my person, right? And I'm in my late 30s, so I'm like, thank you, God, you gave me my person, and so I I'm excited for all the great things that are happening. I want to give you guys a recap of just how my week went. It has been truly amazing. I will be back later on this week because I have to get ready for our housewarming party that we're about to do. We got a lot of great stuff coming up, and then we're also going on this trip in a few months. So we got a lot of stuff to do now at home. So things are getting a little busy on top of all the business stuff I'm doing. So I just want to share a great weekly recap with you guys. Stay encouraged, stay believing, stay being true to yourself, stay amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in to Life with Anita. You guys have a great week.
Give it all to the Most High and thank Him for the blessings and the love I got.